The Harry Potter universe, obviously, it's iconic. Everybody loves it. And with these characters that you guys play, I mean, they're already iconic characters, but do you feel like as actors you have any sort of like creative freedom with them, even though they're already part of this like already established universe?
But the amazing thing about J.K. Rowling is like people that are so extraordinarily talented and sort of content in their own skin and their own imagination brilliance. She writes these scripts, they're detailed, they're formidable, but she then hands it over to you and goes like, yeah, go play with it. So the kind of like some of the tracking scenes, some of the like all of those things you just get to invent and come up with ideas. And she's always watching the rushes, so if anything goes wrong, although we've never...
We'd probably hear about it.
There was only one moment in this film, which I remember, which was that Jude, so Dumbledore's wand to begin with, was a particular wand, and then Joe saw it in the rushes and was like, it looks too similar to the Elder Wand. And so basically... they had to CGI a lot of Jude. I don't know, I hope I'm allowed to say that. I don't know how to say that.
Too late. Well, I think it's a nice shout out to the CGI team that they had to do that. No, I was just thinking about Joe hearing my curses at the end of the takes. Like I didn't think about the fact that she would be, be watching.
Katherine would finish the tape like being Tina and flipping amazing. She'd go, my life. And J.K. Rowling came in, she's like, my favourite thing to do is...
you and your mouth.
No, she didn't. She said her favourite thing to do is to watch the rushes of Catherine's scene, but like to get to the end bit, to see the flatulation.
Hilarious. I have a question for you, Ezra.
Thank you.
Your character in this movie, we spend so much time, basically the whole movie, wondering who he is. And he's like, who am I? I want to know my background and everything. But you walked into this room full of confidence. Have you ever, or at least that's what I gathered, and you seem like a very confident person. Have you ever...
All facade. Just some people are better at pretending than other people.
You're a wonderful actor.
At different times in their lives.
Have you ever felt like you've ever struggled with any sort of like self-identity?
Yeah. Oh, you betcha. I would be fascinated to meet the person who hasn't. I like to say, it's one of my taglines, that civilization today is really becoming a big choose-your-own adventure. You guys, a choose-your-own-adventure of mental illness. And so it's really, pick a good one. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, what is there to be well-adjusted to? I might walk into the room seeming confident today because I'm in an okay mood, probably because I drank so much butterbeer at Wizarding World. But that doesn't imply anything about the multitudes of feelings and experiences that I, alas, do contain.
Yeah.
And I think that, I'm trying to reconcile that stuff. Yeah, for sure. And I think that I'm trying to not be manipulated by all the people who try to be like, I know what the truth is, and I'm going to be your leader and show you the way to the simple solution of like how to be you and like how to maintain what you think you are.
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous, historically speaking.
Yeah. Since you kind of were talking a little bit about your screen test, I read somewhere that you kissed Eddie Redmayne on the forehead in one of your auditions. Do you think that was a selling point?
Yes.
Wonderful.
You will see that and was like, yeah, that's weird. Sign him up.
No, but in truth, Callum brings such an authority and an authenticity to the part. I mean, you really believed that he was Eddie's brother, and as he so rightly said, they are opposites, and yet they're brothers. So you wanted the sense. What he did so brilliantly in his audition was you had a sense that these two people, and it's in Joe's writing, but you had a sense that they have a history, and there is both an affection, but also a little bit of that, brotherly or fraternal thing, which I think really comes across.
Kind of going off of, you just said time travel. We've all kind of agreed that J.K. Rowling's stories are not only for people of our time, but they're kind of timeless. What do you think it is about your characters and your story, the relationship that your characters have together, that makes it timeless?
Well, I mean, Dan talks a lot about archetypes, and I
I also read a lot about mythical characters and stuff, and Women Who Run with the Wolves is one of my favorite books of all time. And she talks a lot about different archetypes and different stories that are passed on from generation to generation. And there's something in this kind of love story. It's the forbidden love story. It's the unlikely love story. Two people from very different backgrounds who just love each other, and then all the forces are against them. And what's interesting is like people feel that people are somehow on a deep level like familiar with that. And then for Queenie in this, then she goes on her own journey, and it is her own path, and it's a path of a maiden, and it's like there's Bluebeard in there, and there's all kinds of like really interesting things that are that like if you delve into it's life lessons as well. It's like our way of making sense of this world, and our characters also just have giant hearts too, and I think we need that in this world where people are like trying so hard to be so protected and so hard, and these two don't know how to do that.